Have you ever said yes to something and immediately regretted it? Like someone asks, "Can you help me with this thing?" And your mouth says, "Of course," but your soul whispers, "We die today." Or someone invites you somewhere you really don't want to go, and you still say, "Yeah, sure." Then you spend the next 24 hours planning your escape like a criminal mastermind. If this sounds familiar, welcome. Today we're talking about why saying no feels so impossible. Even when we want to say it so badly, our brain is screaming. Let's dive in, because the psychology behind this is actually crazy. First reason, we want to be liked. Simple, human, universal. Most of us are trained from childhood to be polite, helpful, agreeable, especially in cultures where saying no is basically social terrorism. When someone asks you for something, your brain goes, "If I say no, will they hate me? Will they think I'm rude? Will I be exiled from the group and forced to live alone on a mountain?" We're wired to maintain harmony. And yes feels safe. No feels risky. So we choose safety even if it destroys our peace. Second reason, we're scared of disappointing people. You know that feeling when someone looks at you with hopeful eyes? Like a puppy waiting for a treat. You haven't even answered yet, and you already feel guilty. Sometimes we care about people so much that we put their comfort above our own capacity. They say, "Can you do me a favor?" And before they even finish the sentence, you're already emotionally stressed. You don't want them to feel bad, or upset, or rejected, so you sacrifice your own comfort to protect theirs. It's sweet and also draining. Third reason, we hate conflict. Let's be honest, many people would rather fight a bear than deal with awkward tension. Saying no can create conflict, and conflict is uncomfortable. It feels like stepping into emotional lava. So instead of saying, "No, I really can't," we say, "Sure, no problem," even though it is definitely a problem. Avoiding conflict feels easier, but it piles up stress like emotional debt. Fourth reason, we overestimate the consequences. You say no in your head, and suddenly your imagination creates a whole Bollywood tragedy. They will be hurt. They will think I'm selfish. They'll stop liking me. They'll bring this up 20 years later. I'll ruin the relationship. But in reality, most people don't care that much. They just want an answer. We make the consequences bigger than they actually are. We catastrophize something as small as saying, "Sorry, I can't today." Another big reason, we tie our self-worth to being helpful. For some people, being useful equals being valuable. They think, "If I don't help, why would people keep me in their life?" This usually comes from childhood, growing up as the fixer, the responsible one, the emotional caretaker. So now as adults, we don't just say yes to tasks, we say yes to feeling worthy. And saying no feels like rejecting ourselves. Now, let's talk about guilt, the silent killer. Some people feel guilty even thinking about saying no. Like they'll rehearse the no in their mind, and the guilt hits them so hard they switch to a yes immediately. The guilt becomes stronger than the need to protect their energy. Guilt is powerful, and most of us were never taught how to handle it in a healthy way. Another sneaky reason, we want to avoid being the bad guy. Society loves labeling. Say yes equals good person. Say no equals selfish. But that's not true. A boundary is not selfish. A boundary is clarity. Yet many people fear being seen as cold or uncaring. So they keep saying yes until their schedule, energy, and mental health collapse like cheap furniture. Here's a funny but true one. Sometimes we say yes because our brain panics. Someone asks you something, suddenly your brain freezes like error 404, decision not found. And before you process anything, your mouth goes, yes, like it has a mind of its own. Later, your brain wakes up like, what have you done? And now you're stuck. But here's the twist. The inability to say no is not a personality flaw. It's a survival strategy, an emotional reflex, a habit built over years. It comes from kindness, empathy, fear, conditioning, and a desire for connection. You're not weak. You're not stupid. You're not a pushover. You're just human. And here's the good news. You can unlearn it. Learning to say no isn't about becoming rude. It's about becoming honest. It's about protecting your time, your energy, your mental health, and your actual peace. Because every time you say yes to something you don't want, you're saying no to yourself. And you deserve better. Boundaries don't push people away. They push respect into the relationship. The right people won't get upset when you say no. They'll understand because they want you happy, not drained and pretending. So the next time you want to say no, take a breath and remind yourself, you're allowed to protect your time. You're allowed to protect your energy. You're allowed to choose yourself. No is not rejection. No is self-respect. And trust me, the more honest you become, the lighter your life feels. If you found this helpful, drop a like, leave a comment, and hit subscribe for more psychology breakdowns that actually make sense. And hey, if someone came to mind while listening to this,